What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, we're coming back. Didn't we just do Marilyn Manson a little while ago? I think we did just like a couple days ago, didn't we? Well, here we go again. We're coming back to Marilyn Manson. Yes, indeed. Marilyn Manson fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity-bop, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This is a request from Jonathan Breed, and it was also the winner of the Patreon request prioritization poll, winning with 50% of the vote, moving it from number 439 in the queue straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. They all want to see me react to this song. It is a song by Marilyn Manson called Antichrist Superstar.
I don't even know if that's PG!
Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, really? This is that song? I recognize that. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Marilyn Manson, okay? And the video has 13.6 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Marilyn Manson, Antichrist Superstar, from Dead to the World. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Oh, yeah. Stop. Okay, I have not heard this. I have not heard this. But good Lord, that intro. Just that. 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 1, and. So it's eighth notes. So just those 2 eighth note hits on 1 and 3 and. Ba, 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 ba. Boy, if that does not inspire a crowd to put their fists in the air, I don't know what does. That is effective. 100% effective.
I am the hype!
Dear Lord, I mean, that is effective. Super effective. As a matter of fact, so effective, I want to go back and I want to hear it again. No, listen, I don't care. Hey, it's my show. If I want to go back, we're going to go back. That was impactful. Seriously impactful. I want to hear that again. Oh yeah, that rep. 7, 7.
You bring me up with your wishes. I didn't have to say
that riff. Boom. We're in B. I believe we're in B. Yep, we're in B. Oops. Now here's is flat 5, I think. Yeah, oh, come on. The riff's that simple? Yep. Flat 5, 4, minor 3, root. Are you kidding me? See, this is what I'm talking about. When you hear me on the channel say this all the time, simple can be effective when it's done properly. We're talking about a very simple riff. Root to minor 3 to flat 7, root to minor 3 to flat 7, root to minor 3 to flat 7, root minor 3 to root, flat 5, down to the 4, down to the minor third, the flat third, down to the root again. I literally just picked up my bass and figured it out. I mean, come on. It doesn't get a whole lot simpler than that. But good Lord, is it effective? With this tempo, with this pulse, with this feel, this kind of a marching, like a dirgy march type of feel. Yeah, man, it's effective. It is very effective. Is that guitar or keyboard? Wait a minute. I can't tell if that's guitar or keyboard. My gut's telling me keyboard, but I think I'm hearing picks scraping on a string, so maybe it's guitar. And he's just going crazy with the wah pedal and a whammy pedal. I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely ear catching. That chromatic descending line for the D to the C sharp to the C to the root, the B. It's just a chromatic descending line going starting from the minor third. Again, simple, very, very simple, but very, very effective. Dang, this song is catchy. Okay. I was never a follower of Marilyn Manson. I never followed him. I never was a fan of his. I never bought any of his albums. I mean, there were a couple of hits that you couldn't help but hear because they got a ton of radio play. I'm curious. Was this song a big hit for him? Because if it wasn't, that's criminal. This song is catchy.
More seductive than sex.
You can't say that on TV.
I can say that.
This song is absolutely catchy. Oh, we're back to this. Stop. We're going to go back to this? Great. Like I said, probably one of the catchiest parts of the song was that intro. Now we're coming back to it. I love the fact that they're revisiting it. I hope they end the song with that too. I really hope that they finish how they start because, man, that's effective. Super effective. The vocal effect he kicked in right there on those last couple lines that he's saying, interesting with that octave split. Really cool. It was very effective. It worked. There's more than an octave there, though. It's not just an octave. There's something else in there, probably 2 or 3 other effects in there as well to kind of affect his tone. But the octave split's nice. Even though he's kind of staying, I mean, he's not kind of staying. He is staying behind that podium. He's very animated. Like, he's got a ton of stage presence. And to some extent, he's got a lot of stage energy as well. I mean, he's not moving around the stage. He's staying in that one spot, but he's utilizing that spot really well. Leaning over, interacting with the crowd, reaching out to the crowd. Great body language, great body movements, arm motions. I mean, you can't see his lower half. I mean, for all we know, his lower half is encased in cement. I mean, we don't know. But the way he's moving around with his upper torso, moving around, contorting it and stuff, it's very eye-catching. It's putting on a great stage show. And like I said, a tremendous amount of stage energy and stage presence. Look, you do not need to run around a stage to have that. You don't need to be shot out of it. That's still my favorite. You don't need to be shot out of a cannon to have stage presence and stage energy. You don't need to do all that stuff. He's doing it right now at a podium. He's getting it. Now, if all he did was stand there at the podium and hold on to the mic stand for dear life like Ozzy Osbourne does and, just stand there and sing, that would be a huge criticism of mine. But what he's doing is outstanding. So I got no problem with it. Well, let's keep going. Switching it up in the drums a little bit. Oh, they're ending it, yes! They ended how they started. I was hoping for that. I even said it during, about halfway through. I said, when they came back to it in the middle, I was like, I really hope they end with this because that means they're going to end how they start. Outstanding. Man, this was good. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. This was a great song. Sheesh. Let me think about it. I'm not sure we're going to go with the score on this. Let me think about it. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Marilyn Manson with a live performance of the song Antichrist Superstar. This was a request from Jonathan Breed, and it was also the winner of the Patreon request prioritization poll, winning with 50% of the vote. moving it from number 439 in the queue straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. Okay, if I'm being honest here, guys, I had to take a few minutes to calm down, to kind of stop gushing and stop geeking out, because I was absolutely vibing on the song, and I needed to take a couple moments actually, to settle down and really look at this objectively. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. I feel good, and I have a score, and let's get to it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that an 8.8. Yep, 8.8. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
This song was infectious. Absolutely infectious. The moment the song started, and you had those eighth note hits. I mean, it was simple too. It was 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and. Dear Lord, I mean, it felt so good. I mean, you talk about a pattern that is easy to follow, easy to remember, and provokes the audience into participating. Like, it's the kind of pattern that really doesn't give the audience a choice. It's, listen, you're gonna follow this pattern or else. You know what I mean? That's how it really kind of felt. The kind of feel and the kind of drive and the kind of energy that just grabs them by the throat and does not give them the choice. It's either you're gonna put your fists in the air or you're gonna suffer the consequences, you know? I mean, and you saw it too. You saw it in the footage. You saw the crowds. Hands in the air. I mean, they were all participating. Now, granted, I'm sure like 80% of the people in that crowd are like diehard fans of Marilyn Manson. They probably know every song like the back of their hand, and they know they're gonna follow along. But there is that 20% of the crowd who got dragged along, who's probably not familiar with the band. Their friend had an extra ticket, and they said, let's go see what all the hoopla is all about. And they went, and they saw, and they experienced. And I'll tell you right now, me just sitting here watching and listening, I wasn't even in the crowd, but even I, sitting here behind a screen, I was feeling compelled to put my hand up. I really was. Part of me wanted to. That beginning was infectious. I'm so glad they came back to it. About a little past halfway through the song, they came back to it. And I remember saying, I really hope they end like this. I hope they end how they started. And as if, an answer came from on high, here it is. Right there at the ending, exactly how the beginning was. The riff, the main riff, the root to the minor 3 to the flat 7, repeat, root, minor 3, root, flat 7, root, minor 3, root, flat 7, and then resolving the phrase with the root to the flat 3 to the root to the flat 5 to the 4 to the flat 3 to the root again. I literally picked up my bass, figured it out in one shot. It was not hard to do. It is an easy riff. But as I have always said on this channel, simple can be effective when it's done properly. This riff was very effective, and I'll tell you the reason why the riff was so effective.
Why?
More than anything, it came down to two things. One, tempo. If we had gone at a faster tempo, this riff would not have been nearly as effective. Because it was at a slower tempo, it really gave the song a chance to take that riff and make it, the best word I can think of is infectious. I mean, it really was, man. I mean, that riff is gonna stick with me for a long time. The other reason that this riff, even despite it being so simple, was so effective was the feel that was being created by the drummer. Having that kind of a dirge march feel. Man, it felt like, you know, I was having shades of Wolfenstein. You could just see, like, you know, the soldiers marching to this. You could absolutely see it. But it felt, it doesn't have to be that. It could be any army. It could be the Korean army. It could be the Chinese army. It could be the American army. Whatever, marching to this. Absolutely. You could totally feel it. And that simple riff, if you look at marches through the history of marches, John Philip Sousa marches in particular, are they all that complex from a melodic standpoint? No, they're not. They're very repetitious. They're very simple. Very similar here. I mean, it's extremely similar here. Very memorable, very infectious, like I said. The song itself was fantastic. I dug the song. Great song overall. Despite its simplicity, it just had a great feel to it. I would give the song about, in all honesty, I would give the song about an 8.6. 8.5, 8.6, somewhere there. It's a great song on its own. So why am I giving this an 8.8? The live show. In particular, the lead vocalist, I believe that's Marilyn Manson. He was able to do something that you don't see many lead singers do. He was able to stay in one spot, and he literally did. He stayed behind that podium the entire song, right? Now here's the thing. Normally that is a huge gripe for me. I usually slam vocalists who do that, especially if they're not playing a guitar. If all they're being is the lead vocalist, what is to stop them from picking the mic up off the mic stand and move around the stage? There's nothing to stop them from doing that. I cannot stand it when lead vocalists stand right in front of their mic stand, hands on the mic, they don't move, and all they do is stand there and sing. It irritates the hell out of me. But here's where Marilyn Manson did something different. Despite the fact that he stayed in place, despite the fact that he didn't move his feet, despite the fact that he never left his spot and moved around the stage, he stayed in one spot the whole time, you could not take your eyes off of him. Why? Because while his lower half of his body may not have moved around at all, I have a feeling his lower body may have been, you know, in some sort of a stirrup situation or strapped in, you know, strapped into the podium so he didn't fall off, you know, when he was doing his leanovers and stuff. His upper body was at all times animated. He was constantly moving, leering out into the crowd, flailing around like a jack-in-the-box. I mean, he was just animated beyond belief, constantly reaching out to the crowd, constantly engaging the crowd. Big, huge, exaggerated arm and head motions, facial expressions, everything I look for, his upper body took care of. So you couldn't help but watch him. You couldn't help it. He was extremely entertaining. Despite the fact he didn't move around the stage at all, not a single step. I am serious when I say this. I wonder if he was strapped, like if his legs might have been strapped in to that podium, because there were some times he was leaning over. I mean, he looked like he was about to dive. It's like right over that podium, but he never moved. He never once, you know, it looked like he never came off his feet one time, which leads me to believe maybe he was anchored in some way to that podium. Maybe he had his feet in some straps or some stirrups that he couldn't move, like they locked his feet down. Maybe they locked his legs to the podium. It's very possible. I don't know. But I suspect there was some way to keep him in place, because, and here's the thing, when he would lean over, it wasn't casual, it was violent, like whoosh. And you would think with that much momentum behind you and that much force, you would think the podium would at least jiggle or something. Nothing. It didn't move once. So congratulations to them on figuring out, you know, how to utilize that podium to the best possible result that they could get. The rest of the members of the band, for the most part, were interacting with the crowd a little bit, moving around a little bit. That keyboard player really was. The bass player was just kind of standing there, you know, but I have a feeling for this song that's what he was told to do, so can't blame him for that. But like I said, you hardly even noticed them. You couldn't take your eyes off of the lead singer, so yeah, great live performance to boot. And see, he had some production in there too. It looked like snow was falling at the beginning. That was kind of cool. Anyway, I feel good with that 8.8. I was thinking about maybe taking it up or taking it down like 0.1, but no. We're going to stick with that 8.8. I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So, 8.8, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope we all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.